Okay, welcome to tutorial 2 of the two-part series in getting a tile designed up for our sound sensing LED display. In the previous tutorial I made this square that you see on the screen, and with its special line properties that the laser will hopefully recognize as cut lines. So now we're going to bring an image in. So to bring an image in we have to find an image. So let's head to Google like we did with the cutting board, and let's select images. Remember, we tried to keep things simple by choosing some clip art, and then I actually narrowed it down to black and white because that's what we're actually playing with here, is the contrast between dark colors and light colors, whites and blacks. And the black color is going to be engraved and turn out kind of frosted and will refract the light, and the light color will be clear and it won't refract light. So that's what makes the tile sort of stand out and pop. What I've chosen is Canada flag, for lack of a better thing to do, and I went and chose this one here. Now this one here, I could right click on it and copy the image and then go into Inkscape and right click and paste, but notice this checkerboard background. This checkerboard background means that it's a transparent background, and if I right click and paste that into Inkscape, it will just show up as a black box. And that doesn't mean we can't use it though. To use this type of file or this type of setup, I have to right click and then I have to go save image as, and I have to save that to a location. So I'm going to put it in my documents under Maker 9 folder that I've got going here, and you can see I've already got it here. I don't need to do it again, so I'm just going to cancel, but I saved it there. Then what I do is I head to Inkscape and I bring it in. So we'll bring this in, we'll go File, Import, and go find your folder. I went to Documents and I went to Maker 9, and then there it is. So I will grab that and open it and just accept the defaults, push OK. Now remember, if I go close in on this, it's really fuzzy and that's not very nice for an image. So maybe I should trace this just like we did when we did the cutting board. So that was under Path. When it's selected, don't forget, use your selection tool here to select it. Then you head under Path and you're going to go Trace Bitmap, and it will pop up this little menu, and you're going to go and just choose the brightness cutoff. It's probably going to work just fine. You can turn live preview on if you want, push OK. Now that I've traced it, I end up with two of them. If I click and hold and drag, I have two. One is nice and sharp, one is fuzzy. So let's get rid of the fuzzy one and let's keep the sharp one. There we go. Now I'm going to put this in the box. Now what I need to do is make it a little smaller. Be careful when you do. It's easy to grab one of these handles and start pushing things around, but if you don't have this little lock on up here that locks the relationship between the width and the height, if I turn it off, I could start stretching it and skewing it, and that wouldn't be good. Control Z undoes mistakes, just like most programs. So put that lock on there, and then when I do this, it will retain its aspect ratio, they call it. Now, I can start moving it around like this and trying centering it, but it won't be perfectly centered. So what I'm going to do is use another tool here. I'll just close these here so you can see where I get it from. Up under Object, because this is an object, we can do things to the object, and one of those things is align it, align and distribute. So pick Align and Distribute, and up comes a menu. Pick two things that you would like to align by holding Shift as you click them. So I'll just click nothing out here right now so you can see nothing's clicked. I'll hold Shift, I'll pick the flag, I'll pick the box. They're both picked, and now I will pick Align on their middles, vertical axis, like that. So now they're aligned on their middles. If I want, I can click the flag and I can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to shuffle it up and down for positioning. Keep in mind when you're trying to position things that you should ignore a little bit of the bottom of this square, because that's going to inset or insert into the stand. So we're going to lose a little bit of this from a visual standpoint. Okay, I've got it. I like it. Now I'm going to get it over to the laser. So the first thing you want to do is just do a normal save of your project. File, Save. And that should save it. Now normally it would come up like this. I'll go Files. I've already got it saved, so it didn't do this, but normally it would pull this up and you're going to save it under Maker 9 under your Documents folder. I don't need to do that. I just saved it. Next thing is, it's really a nice idea to make sure that this red box is Think of these two images as stacked on top of each other. The red box should be the top. It will help with the laser software to detect it. So when you click on the red box, you can head over to here to Object, and you can say raise to the top. There. It doesn't visually here look like anything happened, but now it is the highest most image in the stack of images we've got here. Okay, that's done. Last step, File, Save a Copy. Where are we going to save a copy? Well, we're going to save it to our Maker 9 folder. Again, under Documents, Maker 9. We've created a Maker 9 folder. You're going to save the file type as PDF. We did this with the cutting board. You're going to give it a name you can recognize. I'm going to call it Tutorial Tile 2. And we're going to hit Save. And it's going to ask, oh, yes, accept the defaults. Mine's going to ask if I'd like to replace it because I already have one. I'm going to say yes, replace that file that's there. And now what do? Well, now I go back to the File Explorer down here, which is this little folder. I go find my documents, my Maker 9, and I look for it. Now I can organize them by type to help. And I'm going to go look for it. It's Tile Tutorial 2. Don't double click it. Don't double click it. You already double clicked it, didn't you? Well, close the browser that this file just opened in. Your computers by default will open PDF files in a browser, and that won't work for us. You have to right mouse click on it, and then open with this program, Adobe Reader, right there. So now you've got this in Adobe Reader. You are going to print it. You are going to head down, make sure it's VLS 460 that's selected as your printer, which is our laser. Make sure it's actual size, make sure it's on landscape, hit print. Open up the laser software, and there it is. You must see a red box. If you don't see a red colored box, if this is black, it means that it won't cut. There's no sense even starting. We've done a mistake back here in Inkscape when we set up this properties of this box. So you have to go fix it, and then you have to go through this whole process again of getting it here. But mine's going to work out just fine. It's got this red box, and then I can set up my settings. So the settings, I guess there will be a third tutorial because I don't want to go through the settings in this tutorial. So that's enough for this tutorial. So here we are in the laser. You're all good. Settings are next.